Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, start the recording. We're recording. Hey. Great. Okay, we are ready to have attendance, Miss Nolan, if you could.
Yay.
Rebecca Anderson. Heather Barker.
Present.
Could you please state the reason why your physical attendance is not reasonable or practical and identify the persons in the room at the location you are at?
There's no one with me and I hurt my back, guys. I tweaked it.
Yeah. Ouch. Okay.
I actually sent a note. So
Althea Barton.
Yes, it's an excused absence.
Thank you. Althea Barton. Here. Jill Grant. Diane Nolan here. James O'Rourke.
Here.
Michelle Barker.
Here.
Mark Azulik. Senator Ruth Ward. Representative Dry. Representative Peternell.
Here.
Thank you. Could you state the reason why your physical attendance is not reasonable, practical, and identify anyone in the room?
Well, after a 12-hour session day and an 8-hour session day, I wasn't making the trip back down.
Thank you. All right. Are we still trying to work with Margaret Dry? No? Okay.
She has not responded. Okay. Well, if she pops into the waiting room, Allie will let her in.
So that satisfies quorum.
Okay. Well, I changed the order of the agenda a little bit, just for practicality reasons. In reviewing a general outline from Robert's rules, just the flow of the meeting seemed to make more sense to follow the outline that was in there on robertsrules.org or whatever the official website is. With that, Allie, I was hoping you might have some updates for us for a couple of things. We already have the update that the guidebook has been pulled for now. And I sent a message to you and the commissioner. I think it went to the commissioner. I don't know. Like I said, her email address keeps kicking back. Other than, or yes, Diane.
Sorry, when you said that what you did about the agenda, you mean that you're changing it from what we have in our hands?
No. This agenda that I sent looks different than previous agenda. Okay, sorry.
So the next item after roll call is minutes.
No updates. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're doing minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what's different. Minutes at first. Sorry, Diane. Thank you.
That's all right. We have the January 9th minutes.
Yes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those minutes? Does anybody have any updates to give or questions on the minutes? I had one small correction to add. At the bottom where Heather has abstained from the vote from the November minutes, I would just like to refer she had abstained because she was absent from the November meeting, not just that she was
Correct.
contentious for
Yes.
specific.
Yep.
Yeah. So just to have that reflected that it was because she was absent from the November meeting.
So it could say abstained due to absence.
Yes, please. That was my only suggestion.
We would need a motion to change
Sure.
it.
I
No?
move
Yes.
to add due to absence at the November meeting to the end of the line at the bottom of the page.
Would you hold off? I'm sorry, I probably jumped the gun. If anyone had anything else they want to put in.
Is there anything else to add to it? I think so.
Otherwise, minutes are okay. All right. Then the motion is to
Accept the
add due to
minutes.
absence after abstain. And so we need a second on that.
I'll second.
Okay, 2 seconds. How about that?
So any discussion on that change?
Should take roll. No, the motion.
Oh, for the motion of approving
the minutes.
Right. No. So opportunity for discussion first, and and
Okay.
no discussion, then I will move next to approve minutes as
As motion.
as moved with the change.
Okay.
So is there a second for the approval of the January minutes with the edit? Second. Thank you. Second, Rebecca.
Rebecca Anderson.
Yes.
Yes. Heather Barker.
Yes.
Althea Barton.
Yes.
Diane Olin, yes. James O'Rourke.
Abstain that because I was absent.
Michelle Robarker.
Yes.
That's all set.
Thank you. Okay, and now on to my question for updates from you. We already discussed the guidebook being removed, and did Commissioner Davis have any other questions or anything? She didn't send anything back to me.
Yeah, regarding
Okay.
NAG updates, the only thing we had to mention was that Dave Harrison has moved on from his position as administrator of this division. And we didn't have any other updates.
Okay, the commissioner had two people that she interviewed for vacancies on HEAC. Is there an update on
I
either
don't
of
have
those
any
appointments?
Yes.
Okay. Then moving forward with member reports. Becky, would you like to go first? Do you have a report?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Althea, how about you?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
I remember last meeting, you had something that you were deferring to later meeting. Is that still the case, or was that 2 meetings ago and you deferred for last meeting? I can't remember now.
Last month, you brought up something that she had deferred for months,
Okay, so,
and she got to say it.
Yeah.
okay, so last month was the defer, okay.
Yeah.
Trying to keep track. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
so
Diane?
just me. Wow.
Well,
Okay.
I'll
You
go
too.
ahead, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I have a list.
Awesome.
So I've been withholding. All right, the first one is that we had an equal access issue with SATs. SAT access had to clarify for an administrator. New Hampshire Education Department was consulted. They quickly responded and resolution was quickly found. So there's that. That again is SAT access for a junior. When you go in as a junior for the SAT, I forget the exact way they word it, but SAT with essay, school day with essay. Is that what it is? Yeah. Yeah. So that's the one. Someone but a homeschooler could not, a home educator could not do that.
Okay.
That was quickly straightened out. The next one is that I met a gentleman who was director for a scholarship program called His Chance. It is for those who are permanently injured in the workplace. And it just was a funny circumstance, but he heard me talking about home education in a public place. And he said, I heard some magic words from you about scholarships and about home education, and I'm wondering if you can help me. And so I pointed him to the Friday Forum to advertise his scholarship, which he did. And then I posted it on HEAC. I told him I would also mention it here. I'm sorry, I posted it on CUHE, Catholic United, and immediately received a response from a member who fit the exact criteria, applied for it, and they are very grateful for the opportunity. So it's just a fortuitous set of circumstances that brought us together.
Could you, sorry, share
That's
what
great.
Kids' Chance.
Thank you.
It was in the Friday Forum, so if you
Yeah,
get
it's
that,
great.
or if you want to research it,
It's on the
NHG.
NHG started from,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a good thing to subscribe to that and get those notices on Fridays. Next thing is that I would like to thank Heather Barr for her constant presence at the hearings. I think you'd all be surprised to see how few people are at the hearings. Heather's a regular, and I'm happy to see when she shows up. She is very willing to always step up and provide her testimony, even when she doesn't know that she was there for a home education. So
It's true.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
thank you. Yeah, a few times
you.
I saw her get up and say, I should do this.
Yeah, I saw testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to, yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
The next thing is, AB 1202 wasn't something that was on our list of, bills to watch, but it does, impact home education. And it should be followed because, what it's likely, well, it's, aiming to do is to expand dual enrollment, possibilities for home educators as well as others. Right now it's in, Senate Education, it's passed the House. So, it will give the opportunity. Dual enrollment is for high school students seeking college credits. Right now, and anyone from NHED can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I know my family has used them very successfully. And what you can do, sophomore, junior, senior, can apply to use a community college system, and they can do 2 courses per semester. If they get, is it a B or better, then it's paid for right now by the state. But this expands the number of courses that you could take and the number of credits you can take. So it is a good thing. And you could take even more at your own personal cost, of course.
And sorry, you said that's in Senate Finance now?
Senate.
Senate, Ed, thank you.
Next thing is, home education statistics were released in January on the NHED website. I found it very interesting. It's on iPlatform. And I don't remember the exact name of the report, but I know it has home education in it, home education statistics or something on that idea. Data. There are presently about 3,400 home educators reported on that list, and they're by district. Or I think you can run it a couple of different ways, but I was looking at the district one. What I think is interesting is that there was a high of just over 6,100 in 2016. That didn't beat out the COVID years, where it was only 5,500, but we're at 3,400 right now. And I just thought I'd pass that on, that people can use that. And that's it on that one.
That based on the reports from the letters of intent that come in every year.
It does. Someone in the room may be able to explain it better, but I can tell you from just looking at it, it breaks it out by district. So there's 2,500 people that are in the district that use the district as the reporting agency. And there's something else that's very interesting is that private schools are only used by less than, or a little bit more than 10% of the people. And to me, I thought it was more.
Yeah.
Just
Everybody
from
I
20
know.
years of doing
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I found that very interesting.
Well,
Anyway.
I know some people that are in the district, but yeah.
Yeah,
Varies by the district that they're in.
right.
Usually that's what determines whether they're comfortable using the district or prefer a participating agency.
Yeah, so that's just a little factoid there. And the next thing is that at the federal level, there's the potential for a piece of legislation. There are 2 going through right now. There's the Senate Bill 3747 and the House Bill 6392. They are identical. What they aim to do, I will read to you exactly what it is. Both of them are moving forward. The Senate bill is on the legislative calendar now. It's passed the Senate, and the House bill has passed the House. So,
What was the bill name, number again?
3747. So this bill is to amend the Higher Education Act of 1965 to recognize students who have completed secondary school education in homeschool setting as high school graduates and for other purposes, it says. It's called the Homeschool Graduation Recognition Act, and it will amend section 484D. The main point here is in section 3. It states a high school graduate for the purpose of this title A student who has completed a secondary school education in a homeschool setting that is treated as a homeschool or private school under state law shall be considered a high school graduate. I just thought that everyone should know and keep your eyes on that. Because I know that we're looking at a bill that's in process. Maybe that doesn't move, but to know how it would apply to whatever the current law is important, nonetheless. And the last thing that I had is that NHED released, they had a press release in January on the Federal Education Tax Credit Program for scholarship granting organizations. It is unclear whether there would be eligibility for home education 193A. However, we should keep our eyes on that in case that opens up an opportunity for home education.
And I know in the past you have personally brought the HEAC before in conversation. Have you made any headway or found any bottom to that conversation?
Representative Parnell had the last contact on that, and that was the day of our September meeting. So I would defer to her.
Okay, Representative Parnell, would you be able to contribute to that conversation at all about the HEAC?
Are you talking about in the rules? My connection is sketchy for some reason, so I'm not. Is that what you're asking about, the rules?
Whether the home
HEAC?
educator access has been reestablished for the HEAC, currently out of compliance for that?
I looked at the rules because of what was on the agenda, but it doesn't look like they've been changed yet.
Okay.
And again, I'm having a hard time hearing you because of there's static or something going on with the connection.
Okay. Allie, do you know if there's been any motion or meeting on that? Because it's been years out of compliance. Like what the process would be to fix that?
I don't have any information.
Would it be worth sending an
Not you
email?
there personally.
Would it be worth sending an email to Caitlin? I'm also going to echo that, you guys, there's some weird sounds every now and then. You're coming in fine right now. Would it be worth, since this council advises the commissioner, to send her an email about this issue if it's at that level?
It's the State Board of Education
asking.
that addresses the rules changes. They've
Oh,
been
okay.
notified, and there was a bill, it was on, shoot, I can't remember where it was. There was a bill that addresses this issue. So the rules changes should be coming because the bill addressed that chapter. So I just don't know where it is in the process, but I do know that the Board of Education is aware.
I'm trying to remember the last within the community that I heard discussion around it was that it was still not addressed within that change. If I'm remembering correctly, the discussions, again, I don't personally follow the HEAC because I have not utilized it. I didn't know there is a difference between HEAC and the GED, but neither are preferable in future endeavors for somebody. So I don't know. They both of them could have compromises to what somebody could access in the future if they use that as their graduation document. So I don't know. So that's why I was deferring to Diane a little bit on because I'm not familiar enough with the HEAC. It's just that I'm hearing concerns that it's something that's still out of compliance. And it was something in our annual report last year that it was out of compliance.
That it had expired, and HEAC recommended updating it and waiving the requirement for the participating agency to sign off with its approval to allow 16 and 17-year-old home educated students to take the HEAC.
Right.
And it sounds like it's actually been before the Board of Education. That's what I think I just heard, and that it's somewhere in the process. So perhaps that's something that could be followed. But the other thing you can do is the commissioner meets with the Board of Education. So she could take it there, or I know Mark goes to the State Board of Education meetings. I could ask him to check in on it. See where it is in the
Look it up
process.
there for School Association.
Okay. So it's ED 704.02F.
1, 2, sorry.
704.
Yep.
0.02.
O2F. Okay.
F.
Yes, Althea.
In terms of the static sound, I'm wondering if it's when we shuffle papers. I kind of remember that
I
from
know,
when I was on
funny.
video. So if we can all just try to minimize that, it might help.
Mike is overly sensitive. Diane, would that complete your report? Okay, great. I was going to, what's that's there? Just bring in, there have been a lot of concerns, especially in following the legislative processes that have gone through the last several weeks and couple of months, that home educators are concerned with the process and with the outlook, what that's going to be, what it's going to look like for them. Does this current action to remove the HEAC affect immediately, and reassuring people, no, we're still meeting on Friday, we've got a quorum, we're going to be still functioning until anything changes officially. But just a lot of need to engage within our communities, because we need to prepare them for, is there a future without a HEAC? And what is their pathway forward? We've seen a lot of attempts to engage the legislature that have been not successful, and wondering what the sense is within our own communities. I know that there have been some general surveys within communities that I participate in to ask, like, what is your next step? What are you going to be able to do to step up and make sure that your rights and your family is protected under 193A going forward if the home ed law changes, if the rules go away, if the HEAC disappears. So that was just my general observation within my community, and maybe a charge to all of us that are in my communities to engage our communities to say, look, we don't know what the future holds. It's not something that we have the magic ball on, and to just see what our communities are going to need for support, because we as individuals certainly aren't going to be able to support our whole communities, and try to interface on their behalf. So that's just my experience and the charge going forward, really, for all of us. Yes, Althea.
I reported that I had nothing to report in my section, but I want to echo the comments that you just made. We are experiencing exactly the same thing. A lot of questions, a lot of concerns, a lot of uncertainty, I guess. And I thought we were going to talk about that later. So
Yeah.
I just want to echo it now. In terms of the New Hampshire Homeschooling Coalition, we're seeing the same kind of concerns.
It's in my community as well, in Crest Village, and yeah, we just need to find other avenues to be able to collaborate and support each other, and get issues that people from our community are having to the right people who, the only way that I know who those people are from being from this council. So just need to shore everything up.
Right. And I know Representative Peternell, I don't know if you want to speak, but you did mention in your executive session comments that home educators have avenues to engage with the legislature. And just curious what those avenues are that we can reassure our communities with.
Every single state representative has an email address at the very least, or a mailing address listed on the State House website. you can always contact your state representative that way.
Yes, so I think the concern within the home ed community, though, is that it's a vacuum. I know I've personally engaged with legislators that way through their email addresses. They're posted and not even received a response back. I know we've heard legislators say, I don't check my email. We've heard legislators say, I don't read public comments. So it's really hard to read what is the avenue that home educators actually have in order to have that ability to communicate.
If your state representative doesn't respond, there isn't much that you can do other than reach out to another state representative. Each person, there's multiple representatives for most districts. There are very few people who only have one state representative to reach out to.
So if you live somewhere like I do, where I'm going to make an assumption that none of my representatives care about home education very much, do you think that there would be certain people who are representatives right now, like yourself, who would flag themselves as being open to like fielding some of those issues, obviously not in the form of HEAC, but like by email, like saying, I'm open to helping this person who was, not given equal access or something. Like, I don't know if it would be you, but do you think there would be certain representatives who would volunteer for something like that?
I'm really having trouble understanding what everybody's saying because it's fading in and out about every other word, to be perfectly honest with you. So if I'm understanding correctly, you're trying to, again, like I said, it's fading in and out every other word. So what I'm thinking I'm hearing you say is that you're trying to figure out how to reach out to specific representatives. Is that correct?
Yes, like right now, I
Yes.
don't know how you and Representative Dry like chose to be on HEAC, but the types of representatives who have made that choice in the past to take extra effort to support home educators, could we maybe like have that group identified?
Oh, you want a different representative on the Home Education Advisory Council? Is that what you're saying?
No,
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 I'm just asking.
no. Can I just help here?
Yeah,
What
please.
they're
I can hear you better than I can
Yeah.
hear them, Heather.
Yeah, okay. So what they're asking, what's being asked is, as state reps and Ruth Ward as the senator, you guys have been supportive of home education. So the question was, if I live, meaning any parent or anybody that's involved in home education, 193A, is in a district where the representatives perhaps are not, they may not know much about it, they may not be tuned into it like other representatives and senators have been. So they're asking, if the Home Education Advisory Council were to go away, would that be a possibility that you guys could identify representatives and senators who are concerned about this constituent group in the state? Does that represent what you guys are asking?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
now I understand. I really could not get that, gist of that, sorry. We probably could, but we're up for election every 2 years, so that's a constantly changing dynamic. So the best thing to do is to start reaching out to your representatives when they're reelected or elected, and get the word out among your own organizations and say, hey, I reached out to my state rep and they're friendly to home education and they're happy to take a call from you should you have any concerns. So every 2 years, it's on each individual to find out from their own state representative whether or not they're friendly to home educators.
I guess in general, I don't know if it's the same for Becky, just within my own community, it's that trying to find the communication pathway to even have that conversation. That's impossible for many.
It's impossible to reach out to your state representative?
No, it's impossible to receive communication back from many. I know I personally emailed 4 representatives for my area just in the last 2 weeks, and I heard back from 1. I emailed about half a dozen or a dozen other representatives and didn't hear back from any. So identifying as a constituent group within their voting block is unsuccessful, and identifying as a citizen of the state of New Hampshire is unsuccessful. So home
Right.
educators are validly concerned how they will engage with the legislature without a body to filter through.
You would have, like I just said, you can contact your representatives, find out whether or not they're friendly to home education. If they don't return your phone call or email, I would assume no, but it would be something among your own organization's communication where somebody could say, hey, I reached out to my state rep and they said that they would take any calls about home education. Just because we represent a constituency doesn't mean we know everything about every topic. So I often refer people to other representatives when something isn't in my field of expertise. And I would be happy to take calls from anybody else, from anybody in any other district if they had an issue on an education issue.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was asking, knowing that not all reps will be friendly, but also not all reps would be the right person to understand home ed law. Just by being on HEAC, you guys self-identified as the people who were open and responsive and also knowledgeable. So when there's no more HEAC, just if we could have maybe just a list of people like yourself who could, who we could direct those things to.
Well, you also have the education committees to reach out to as a starting place if your own representatives are not home education friendly. There's a lot of options. There's 400 of us, so you're bound to find somebody in there who's understands what you all do.
I'm pretty sure we all go to spam if we emailed 400 of you, though.
Like I said, there's it would be up to each. I mean, you have like the New Hampshire Homeschooling Coalition has representatives, right? For, is it 8 districts, 8 areas, Althea? Yeah. So they could start with their own representatives and find out. I mean, and you could ask people in other representatives in your area who's homeschool friendly. The word gets around quick. Doesn't.
I was just going to answer in terms of what our conversations have been with CUHE. So we were just kind of brainstorming and thinking really each home education group needs to just assign a representative within their group to be that liaison, to attend the hearings, they have to be the boots on the ground. There's plenty of other situations where a group of people across state believe in the same thing. You don't have a law that's specific to their family, like this home education law, but they have to find a way and we have to find a way. And the first thing bottom line is a rep from every home ed group. Maybe, there's an ad hoc council. Doesn't have to be legislative. There's an ad hoc council that meets once a quarter or something, or Zooms in or similar. So we're all volunteers. We're volunteers here, we're volunteers there. However we want to establish it, it's free reign. If someone wants to form a PAC, they can form a PAC. There are all kinds of alternatives.
All right. Okay, we have any report from you, Jim?
No, no,
Okay. All right, great. Heather, do you have anything to report? She's on mute. There we go.
There, okay. Yeah, actually, I didn't because I haven't really done anything other than attending the meetings. And as I'm listening to this, I'm quite happy to be a liaison through NHSAA for home education community folks or organizations to reach out with issues like this is what's been valuable to me with this group. So today, when I heard that there's a family that experienced an issue around the SATs, it reminded me that next Tuesday we have a meeting with superintendents and other systems leaders, and I will remind them about SAS and SATs and all the other things that parents may want to partake of, and remind them that parents are allowed to do that. That this is where this has been beneficial for me. So, and I'm happy to help educate those folks. So I'm also extending an invitation to you guys. If HEAC is going to be gone, then my office, the SSC office at NHSAA, will gladly be a avenue for you guys to reach out to get some support or to get information out. So I'm happy to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if I could add to that, Heather, specifically, it's the school day SAT one. That's the free
Yep.
one. And if a
Yeah.
homeschooler lives within that community, they have that right to go to their school and take that free one, not pay the
That's correct.
$97,
Can you do me a
I
favor?
think, to take it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and do it at the Principals Association, the same thing? Because it's not often the
Yeah,
superintendent's
yeah,
office
absolutely.
that says no. It's usually at the building
Right.
level. So that would be helpful if, and I can send something to Brighty as well to remind the organization
Okay.
that so that principals know. It's not that principals don't want to do the right thing. They just, like lots of other people, may not. Right. They don't know or they don't remember. So it's good. This is a good reminder to me that annually we should send out some of this information to our groups. So thank you for that.
Question for Heather.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Diane.
Heather, last month you mentioned that you would distribute your pathways document. Can you maybe get that up to
Oh
us
yeah,
by
sure,
email?
absolutely. Yes, I can send that to all of you guys. Yes. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
There were a couple
Absolutely.
updates that she.
Yeah, I have to amend it. There's a couple places because the laws changed with the parental bill of rights, and I got some nice feedback from Representative Petronell. And then I had Allison take it to the folks at the Department of Ed, and they offered a couple of other edits because that originally, when I made that was before that. So yes, and I'll get it to you guys, and then it could be on the website if people want to have it there. And I'll make sure that the organizations that it's really just my organization, that the administrators and systems leaders have an updated copy as well. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Representative Petronell, do you have updates on the legislation that is affecting home education?
Yep, HB 1155 and 1268 were both passed on the House floor on Wednesday, and they are on their way to the Senate. And while we were talking, I looked up the RSA on the GED or the HiSET, and it doesn't, the RSA is 186:61, and it's under adult education. But if I'm not mistaken, the change that was made in that statute was that students at least 16 years of age eligible for enrollment in a New Hampshire public school would be eligible to take the high school equivalency exam. But when I looked at ED 704.02 just a few minutes ago, it hasn't been updated yet. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. She did what? Sorry,
Did you give us a bill number on that?
for that, she said 186:1.
I don't have a bill
Oh,
number.
that's
That's the RSA regarding the
No, no.
adult equivalency
Yeah.
exam. The high school equivalency exam, sorry. No equivalency exam to become an adult.
I know that there have been discussions regarding the changes that were made to 1268 during the executive session. Is there any information that you can give there in what was added to it with adding the EFA access to the equal access through the home education bill?
It's all included in the amendments, which are available online.
No, I'm just wondering if there's anything that you can give in the process, any information, insight that you have for how that ended up in a home education bill.
It's just part of the process. It's included. It was germane to that piece of legislation, to the RSAs, so we were able to add that in.
Diane?
There is also another bill, 1817, that is verbatim to that element of the 1268.
We do things like
It's
that.
in the same process.
Yep.
1817?
Yeah.
Is there any home education information that's added into 1817?
1817 is exclusively that paragraph about equal access.
Thank you.
Something that I've been, I think I've asked this here before, but it was just being questioned by someone else and it made me second guess it. Does the term equal access mean free equal access?
No, not necessarily.
Legally? No, okay. So the term in law equal access just means access.
Yeah, you have the right to request.
Okay.
That school can charge things to a home educator that it would charge to anyone else, any other student, any public school student.
The difference being that for a home educator, the
Right.
school can count that person to the ADM and reimburse by the
But I guess, does the term equal access in law mean, like, this is just what somebody said, and I said, oh, I didn't think this was true, but, that just saying that, the EFA recipients would get equal access was only talking about accessibility, like availability, that they could join the school. But does that term inherently mean that they join the classes at no cost, like the other groups in the statute, like home educators, private schools?
I
Charter
think,
schools.
I think for us in public school, we're waiting for some clarification on some of that as well, like what do we charge EFA families for? And so the way I would look at it at my school, if a 193A student came in, if there was room in the class, they're in.
Right.
If a 193A student came in and a 194F student came in, the student with the 193A student would have that first access to that class. If I had multiple seats and we had what we were going to charge the EFA family, then the 193A student doesn't pay, obviously, and then we charge the EFA student when they come in. So we have equal access to the courses,
Right.
but if we had a fee system to charge right now, which we don't because we're still waiting
Right.
to figure that all out, we would just charge the student.
So if 1268 becomes law, would that situation that would you still be able to charge according to that fee schedule that's still getting figured out, or would you no longer be able to charge the EFA student?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That I'm not sure about.
Does Representative Peternell, do you know what that means?
I'm not here to talk about the legislation. I'm only here to give you an update on what has passed and what hasn't. I don't know how that's all going to play out in the long run.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Okay, yeah, I thought equal access meant free, and then somebody on a Facebook group said, no, they could still get charged the equivalent amount, and I thought that was going into the bill to take away that option.
Well, none of it's free.
Yes.
The taxpayers are paying for it all, one way or another.
Well,
Right.
you know what I mean?
It's just how much the state is covering for a student that is outside of a paid pathway.
These are all issues we need to address.
Next up,
Yeah, can
The
we keep
guidebook
moving
that-
at this point? Yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yeah,
thank
we
you.
are. The next thing I have, Heather and Representative Penderell, I apologize, I don't have this for you to see. This is just like a basic outline that I typed out about things to include in the annual report. So I'm gonna pass that out to everybody in the room, and I can send it to you after, but it's just like a chunked out sections of things to include. So we can certainly revisit it if we needed a document to circulate, but this was more to kind of track discussions. So it wasn't meant to be an official
I'm
document.
perfectly fine with that. That's okay.
Okay.
Take a picture of it and send it to her.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully she'll see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys all have my number. Everybody has my
I-
number. Send me one.
I don't know if I do.
Nope, I think I'm the only
I
one.
think I should
Oh,
figure
okay.
that out.
I'm happy-
Yeah.
Here, anybody can have my phone number. I use it all the time. You can get me
Okay.
anytime.
Okay.
I was protecting your anonymity.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I heart you. Thank you.
you can.
But there it is for everyone, the public too. There you go.
Okay. Let's see.
It's in the chat.
Okay.
So what do you want to do with this outline? How do you
So
want to
yeah,
see?
this was just, these are my thoughts about things that I brought to mind that we saw and worked through this year. For the benefit of Heather and Katie, I'll just read through them really fast and then we can expand things and add things and move things around or take things out. So I thought it was good to go through some main sections, important advances, continued concerns, and looking forward. Under important advances, I would like to have it reflected the SAU help that Heather provided this year was key. That she finished production of that document and has also been providing ongoing education to the SAUs. So we're really thankful for that, and that was a great effort that was informed a lot by the activities and questions that we saw as a council. The NHED Technical Advisory for Equal Access, that was a big thing this year that came to our communities and that we discussed here even a bit. The supporting 93A families and continued engagement with the public and non-public communities regarding equal access. There was a lot more of that that we were able to encourage with our own communities this year. Having members that are engaged and willing to make that step to say, no, this is the law and stand up for themselves has been really a great step forward, at least for some of our communities where people are more prone to say, I like to be quiet. I like to not have to engage and just keep my head down and move on. And then engagement from new and veteran home educators. We have had a lot of people joining our ranks as home educators in the state and just helping them to navigate between the law and I know there have been a lot of public events. I know that friends of mine have participated in or hosted different events in the area. That's been good for engagement just to even help establish communities for these new families coming in. Under continued concerns, there's still continued community engagement surrounding the protection of home education from the EFA pathway mission creep. It's been a really blurred line, and there's still concerns that are being brought to us as organizations about how we as the HEAC could help improve that, and we've given suggestions to the legislators and just continuing to understand how that can be made more clear. community concerns regarding difficulties surrounding engaging in the legislative process, and also the legislative perception of the needs of the 193A pathway. Those are all concerns that we've seen within our communities and publicly, even within various forums that we participate in. And then under looking forward, the 193A community faces a potential future without the HEAC. That is something that has happened during this session, and that 193A families are still looking for positive protections and assurances from blowback and reactionary legislation. That's been a very valid concern that I've heard, not just within my own community, but in the broader community, that there are concerns that when the legislature flips, and we just saw that the Cordelli's seat flipped, so it's not a invalid concern for people to bring up, that there's potential for very hostile reactions to the expansions of the EFA and also the efforts with the current legislation that is pending. So with that, any other things to add in or discuss, or if there's anybody that's wanting to take a bigger role in working through any of these pieces to give your more specific view in the, especially with Heather's efforts in what went into the process of creating that document, the kinds of interactions that she had to help her with that, that would be valuable to include in our report. But if anybody has other concerns that have come to the council or other activities that we might like to include in our report.
Can I ask you a question before we get into that?
Yeah.
How do you envision this moving forward? You want to brainstorm so that we add things to this outline, and then what?
Right. So this outline was my preliminary brain dump on the things that I could recollect of the activities of the HEAC this year. This is not an official anything. But more of a, what are the things that stuck out to each of us that we would want to include in that annual report, so that we're able to have a draft and be ready for our May meeting to review that draft.
Okay, and who would be drafting it?
As the chair, I would take that responsibility.
Okay, and then potentially releasing that to us before the meeting so that we can mark it up.
Correct, and that was why I'm looking for input to see if anybody wants to either take on a piece of it to really expand on that particular bit, or if you have something specific that you want to expand on, like Althea expands on her engagement that they had with the updating all of those binders, right? That completely escaped my brain until right now, but it was at this session or last session. Now it's things cross through so much. It's hard to.
It seems like a continual.
Yeah, it does.
And they will have to all be revamped again.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like I said, just more of a, let's get some ideas on the board before we get to May. We have no report to even look at to think about editing. I want us to get to a outline here and then maybe even have a rough draft ready for May to review.
I would assume we would need the rough draft before May because May could be our last meeting.
Correct.
So we need to finalize it in May.
Right.
So
Yes.
maybe May would be the meeting where we sit and we
Bang it
go
up.
through edits together. We've all had a chance to sit with it for a few weeks at least.
Yeah.
So I guess right now then would be let's talk about what to add in or take out, what anybody has as a personal focus that they'd like to get onto, and get that process going to get back to me to put into a compiled document. So if we have volunteers for any parts of it, I'm not prone to assigning sections for anybody or saying I'm doing it all. That's not my style either, because it's a group document. we're all part of the council and we're all represented with the activities. Yes, Diane.
Okay, so my number one thing is examples. So when we talk about each thing is very helpful. It has been helpful over the years to be able to go back. I went through all of the meeting minutes. Anticipated we would be talking about the annual report. And we don't have a lot of specifics, but where we do, say Kate Abbott came in and she talked about the equal access issue in Exeter. Very specifically, yes, that got resolved. The SAT equal access issues. Anytime that we can go with very specific things, that is best.
Definitely.
You could talk about trying to clarify, all those addendums that you brought in where you were trying to, well, you can speak to what you were trying to do with them, right? To gain clarity, to define quorum, to refine things.
So what section would you, if we're looking at these three sections, where would you maybe plug that in?
Maybe under continued concern.
Just unclear instructions to the HEAC?
I wouldn't say that, but I'm sure you could find a way around it.
Okay. I guess I'm not clear what your intent is and like what you're wanting to communicate through it. Sorry.
Just how you were trying to advance the work of HEAC by providing those documents as clarification.
Oh, okay. So that was what I meant. Sorry. The clarification of our duties and responsibilities. Okay. Thank you.
Would that go under important advances? Or
Good.
I'm just looking at last year's report, just to see like how it was sectioned up. There was a section of things that are still unresolved, like that I said.
Yeah.
So we just
Yes, been carried for years.
make sure that we still, have a section of things that are like in continued concern, I guess.
So is that, would we call that the looking forward section?
Um,
Looking forward and continued concerns?
I would say that it would probably go more into the middle of the report. I don't think you're really gonna have like headings like this.
Right, yeah, no, this was
So,
more of
the
a
middle.
flow of information. Yep.
About, unresolved, still unresolved questions or issues. And I also see that, the beginning of the report starts with, some numbers. And it says that, New Hampshire Education Department reported a 40% year-over-year increase in notifications in December 2024. So I wonder why we have why the statistics that you mentioned are like so much less.
Tim Carney had brought us that fact. That is what ended up in that report. I don't remember the exact circumstances of the conversation, where he got it from or anything else. We have to go back and look at that. But certainly, you want to talk about the numbers that we brought up today. You want to talk about the trends. I don't know.
Sorry,
To get yourself a graph.
Yeah.
Representative Petternell has said, I have a hard stop at 4 p.m. and I will be leaving the meeting now.
Okay, thank you for letting us know. Jim also has a hard stop at 4. Thank you. Yes, so that was trying not to shuffle this one. I have notes on the back of something, so that was the no, I don't have it. The Friday forum information. Nope, that was the
No.
kids' chance. Where was
Kids
that?
Chance was in Friday Forum,
Yeah. What was the,
on the NHED
number
website?
iPlatform.
iPlatform? Thank you. I did not write that here.
Those were released in January, as well as that press release that was released. But I don't know if that applies home ed, so I guess you don't go there. The federal bills are also something that can go in.
Oh, I guess maybe that's something looking forward, because we don't know where that is.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's informing home education as a community.
Yeah, no, so it's important in the report, yes.
Yeah.
100%. Just trying to figure out where, it's not in advance yet, because it's still unsettled.
Right.
Okay.
Diane, you mentioned that you've gone through all the minutes.
Yep.
In preparation for this. Is there, I mean, that's what I did last year for the annual report, so that's a very efficient way of seeing in writing what we had done, rather than trying to remember, because I don't remember everything we did.
Right.
So is there some way to convey that and then combine that?
Yeah.
Those achievements and issues.
Yeah, Michelle did put in several of those issues already. So I was checking them off as she was listing them. You know, it may seem small, but Jill Grant was presenting the annual report to the non-public advisory school, and that's the interplay between. Same thing with everything that James has contributed in terms of the interplay of the conversations about where, yeah, I won't get it right, you can say.
Jill, I forgot to ask. Oh, no,
Jill's
just
not here.
that's right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if there was an update, and she was going to present it after I asked HEAC. Yes.
Yeah.
And I would say those things are not small, those things are huge. And I think those should go in advances.
You know, even your thing from last month to just remind people that, you know, moving forward, the most common problem that I'll put myself out there as a home education representative from a group get is almost all of them can be resolved with just for information to the administrator who's made an error. It has to start with a gracious, hey, you know, here's the present law. Is this what you were looking at? And such a high percentage of our problems go away as soon as that's presented.
Yep.
And you know, your letter of intent, letter of acknowledgement issue where the person said a wrong law to the home ed family. That's, you know, that's the stuff that needs to be in here, because what we've done as a council has been able to recognize trends, right? So when we put in these little one thing at a time, you can see that they really just all point to a major thing.
Right, and then instead of just resolving that one issue for that one district, we can send the information over and then it gets distributed to everybody. And we all understand better.
Exactly. And that's where
We need to find ways to continue to
When
do
one
that.
person makes a mistake, then everyone else
Learns from it.
yeah,
Yeah.
can avoid making a mistake and
Education.
wastes a lot less time. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think it was even in the discussions around equal access back in early part of the session where you were saying that it's a really blurry line for you guys.
Yep.
For the school principals to know
Where's that line?
where's that line? What do we ask people? What are we allowed to ask people? And understanding that, Diane.
So again, you know, even just in September, when the legislators finished presenting their information, I asked about Granite Place. There was nothing on that banner that told anyone to go to Granite Place. Ended up on there. Representative Pettinell carried the message, and it was resolved. Those are the types of interplays that we want to highlight. And one other thing that I didn't talk about in the home education section was, have we discussed the federal threat of the Coalition for Home Education, that group that is trying to do nationwide abolition of home education because they don't like it?
Yeah, the Coalition for Responsible Home Education.
Exactly.
Folks.
Right. So if you want to talk about looking forward, I think it's important for the home education community, those to read this report may want to know that The threat of legislation is real, and it's happening across the nation. It's not, we're not special. It's coming.
Yeah, and maybe just some examples of other states which have been dealing with it this year too.
So we're at 3:58 and we have a couple of members who need to leave. Is there?
Yes. So other than that, was there anything in particular that anybody wanted to specifically dive in, or are we counting on me to make a draft and send it to everybody?
I'm counting on you.
I think you should make a draft and then we can.
Early and often.
Yeah, it'll be before what would have been the interim meeting. So that if we decide, yeah, this is just way too much information and there's no way we're gonna finish it in May, that we need to meet in April, if that's the case, then we'll know that sooner than later. We don't have non-public session that I know of, that anybody's brought to my attention. And unfinished business, I think we've addressed everything, just if there's still stuff unfinished. New business, if there's anyone looking to provide public comment, either in the room or online. We'll go with the room first, and then that'll give people online the opportunity to be able to speak up.
Okay.
Oh, there's nothing left to vote on, correct?
Just the
Just the adjournment, and everybody can still sit here if they really want to, but I'm pretty sure Ally D will go home.
Is it reasonable for us to do it?
Before public comment, I'll just announce the next meeting is scheduled for May. What is it? It's on May 8th. And that also we anticipate that Commissioner Davis will be able to attend that meeting. I've been trying to coordinate with Angela for a few months now with her schedule between when she's available. It's like she'll be able to attend the May meeting, so that'd be good. Be able to welcome her. Other than that, I don't have any new council business, so I think we're good to move into public comment at this time. If anybody online is looking to speak, you can make a comment while we address Ms. Angela. Okay. If you'd like to.
But are we able to vote to adjourn
Oh,
if we don't have a forum?
Well, no, we just have to stay.
we just have to stay here forever.
Yeah, we never
Stuck here
end.
forever.
That's all we do.
I apologize.
It's all right.
No,
You're fine.
You can put in your vote and then.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Oh, get Jim. Jim can transfer his. Can he transfer? I don't know. Robert's rules. Can he
Yeah,
transfer his vote to someone?
To adjourn.
Can he ask Dean to vote on his behalf?
No, I'm gonna go with no.
That's funny.
Well, we're all just out here.
Bye,
That's
Jim.
fine. Thank you.
See you next meeting.
Yeah. And thank you, Rep. Petronell. She's already had out. She's already gone. Yep. She made her hard stop. All right. So sorry. Go ahead.
My name is Angela Cantz. I just wanted to come to one of the meetings here. I'll move over so I can see everybody. I have home educated New Hampshire for about 10 years. I started a nonprofit homeschool co-op in Somersworth, and we've been doing that for about 4 years. And two of my students have graduated and they're at college. I've had an excellent experience home educating in New Hampshire with all the different groups and the co-ops, and I talk to a lot of different people. I know a lot of different people. We go to co-ops almost every day, and I just was interested in HEAC. I've never been to a meeting. I am on the board of both CUHE and the Homeschooling Coalition, but I emailed the commissioner to just request her to consider me to nominate myself basically for an at-large position. I've just recently my kids are getting older, and I just feel that the HEAC is very valuable. It's very valuable to have this communication. A couple of issues that I've had have been resolved through HEAC. One was they were dating my home education letter back in like 2018, and that was resolved by talking with Stephanie Marsh, and she went to our SAU, who she used to be on the council, Stephanie Marsh. I'm not sure if anybody remembers her, but she went to my SAU and the dated letter didn't get changed, brought it to HEAC, and then the technical advisory went out, and then I received my corrected letter, which I needed to have that year for my daughter doing the all-state orchestra. So, and the other thing was recently for my 7-year-old who just turned 7, when I submitted his in the fall, they sent back, the SAU sent back a copy of the old law that you guys have been talking about. And so I've seen the HEAC come through and help me out. And, but like I said, I've had no problems with equal access. During COVID, my kids took the SAT and it was kind of, things were a little bit different then. And so I did go with Portsmouth Christian Academy. But I've requested to be nominated to the council, and I just want to introduce myself and get to know everyone that I don't know.
Welcome. Did you have any feedback about potential interview or anything moving forward in the process?
No.
Oh, okay. We'll see what happens. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thanks. There's the other person. I don't know who Michael is. If there's any request for public comment from online. Other than that, we already announced our next meeting. And technically we can't adjourn appropriately, but we're all eventually going to just disappear.
Live dangerously.
Yes, live dangerously. Yes. So with that, then.
I think I'm gonna head out. How does that sound? Can we go?
All right. Sounds good.
All right, bye,
People in the room,
guys.
apparently.
Yes. Yeah, I'm hanging
Bye,
out
guys.
with you. I'm hanging out with you, but I'm not really sure what we're doing now. So I'm gonna head out.